I can't believe the aliens and the Mormon stories fucking came full circle just now.
No, it is. It's weird.
Where the fuck is McClay?
You're going to have a special one for 420.
Oh, yeah.
Like 3 years. All right.
Action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast, episode 120. I'm Keith Obit, joined with my best friend, Brian McClay. If you enjoy the show, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. That's what really helps us out. And you can also find more videos and playlists above McClay's head.
Just do it, guys.
Sweet.
Do it.
So, me and McClay talk about this all the time on the podcast, how some of the best conversations happen either before or after the show. As a matter of fact, some of our best clips are on our Patreon. So if you want to find some hidden content with some things that you can't get anywhere else, you can join our Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Just if you want to support and help the show.
Yep.
So after the last show, which with our guest Scott Levesque, we get super fucking ripped.
Oh,
he brings
Levesque.
the volcano and shit.
Is it Levesque?
Levesque.
I'm sorry.
You know,
dude.
hey, check this out, bro.
I'm so sorry, dude. What did I say, Levesque?
Yeah,
I'm
heard
sorry.
Levesque.
Yeah, it just depends. But it's more, it's that silent S. That's just how it goes. It comes with the territory, I think, with anybody who has
My bad,
a difficult name.
My bad.
Yeah.
But after the show, he fucking says, one, he's been abducted by aliens, and two, he grew up in a Mormon cult. And we were like, what the
After
fuck?
2 hours.
After fucking an hour and a half, if you didn't bring that shit up, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, you guys,
So
you guys consider the Mormon religion a cult.
No, you said that. I did.
Oh, no, I just grew up in the Mormon religion.
Okay.
No, like Ted Bundy type weird shit.
Okay,
living out in Utah.
Okay.
But anyway,
Right.
he's only here for a short time. You go back when?
Go back in
Thursday,
a couple
Friday?
days.
So we were just like, you know what? Before you head back, come back on and let's
back. Yep.
talk about this shit. So let's just get right to it. You got abducted by aliens.
Yeah, like
I never knew this.
Living in Maine. So living in Maine,
And how old
it's
were
one of
you?
those things I don't talk about a lot because it's one of those territories where it's like, it's like people don't necessarily perceive you as all there when you start talking about some of that.
Yeah.
But for me, the proof in the pudding I have is that when I was younger, I'd grown up, like just living in the woods, had a bunch of different, little injuries like most kids, but except mine kind of got pretty heavy injuries. Like when I was 8, I was watching my neighbors cut down a tree, ran the wrong way, and got hit vertical to vertical. Just boom, knocked the fuck out. Like the ground took some of the impact. I had a split head, like knocked out. Later on, 12, I had like a baseball bat to the head from like sports ricochet, like hit me, knocked me out.
Is this what you're saying in case the alien story doesn't?
No, this is what's going. No, this is what leads up to it. Why I'm like, this is for me the proof, because everybody knows their own body, and so at this point, I've had my knee to the head playing sports, cracked my skull, kind of had a little eye swollen shut. I remember being super depressed, super like having issues because after it had healed up, I'd had these 3 pretty severe head injuries, in a short amount of time.
You're like, what age group or age range was this?
So 8, 12, and 14.
Okay.
So all in this short amount of time. I remember just, this is before that I was living Mormon. So I hadn't, I maybe knew Tylenol, ibuprofen, stuff. I'd never taken any other substances in my life because that was against the religion. You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do these things. So it's like, we're living in my grandpa out in Maine owned about 100 acres of just thick woods, just deep woods in Maine. And I remember growing up out there. It's like off Old Belgrade Road out in Maine, and we lived off Bog Road, and it was a lot of boggy marsh.
You lived off of what road?
Called Bog Road. Yeah, no, for real, I lived off Bog Road. No joke.
That's tight.
Yeah. It was like, that's where I was at, dude. I was out there for a while down this driveway.
Okay, now I'm starting to believe you.
I know. I had to say this is meant to be, bro.
And it was just strange because I remember growing up, like I had been playing sports and this head injury is past. I'm like around 14. I'm in high school playing a bunch of sports, doing the things normal. But every time I tried to do these fast movements, like half my body started almost like a mini stroke. Like it would go numb and it would go tingly and I couldn't really do anything. I'd have to move it back, get it back. I was having all these issues with movement.
Did they diagnose you with anything?
They just kept saying I had concussions and you're post-traumatic brain injury, traumatic brain injury, all this type of stuff. And then, long story short is like, I remember being depressed, never had any substances, laying in my bed, just staring out in these woods that I had ridden my bike through there with my brothers. We explored that whole place growing up. And not until I was older did it start dawning on me and I started remembering like a lot of the pieces where it makes more sense. But, long story short, I'm sitting in my bed and I'm staring out that window and I'm like just looking over these trees, depressed, like wondering if I'm ever going to be normal again.
This is at 14?
Yeah. Will this shit just go away? Like, am I going to be able to not have to deal with this bullshit? And then out of nowhere, I just see these lights and this thing come and land in the woods. And I just remember sitting up in my bed. And then next thing I know, I just remember waking up the next morning.
All right.
And I always questioned, like, did that really happen? Was it from something else? But then I never had that issue ever again. Like, I've never had half my body, never went numb. I've never had that tingliness. In fact, like when I've had brain scans and stuff, they're like, we show no signs of past traumatic head trauma. So it's like,
but there was signs before in the scans.
Yeah, when I was younger with the CAT scans and stuff, or the MRIs that I went and stuff, and they would see, oh yeah, you got concussed, or you have this, it's pretty bad. But that's why so forever it kept getting followed, or traumatic brain injury, till I challenged it, and then I found out it wasn't.
Just to be straight, you're convinced that you had these very traumatic brain injuries, and then one night when you were 14 years old, you saw some lights, woke up the next day, and from then on, you were healed.
Yeah, I never had any of those issues.
What are you gonna say, McClay?
I was just back to normal.
Well, I was gonna say I want to talk about what you saw.
Exactly. Yeah. Me too. Can you describe it more specifically than lights? Maybe the colors. Maybe did you see a craft?
So to me, it was just like a weird. It was almost like just a round, like it kind of started out here and rounded out, and there was lights all around the edges of it, and then there was lights coming from the bottom of it as well. And so, it came in more like, almost like what you kind of would see on some of the sci-fi shows, where it was less like where it came in and just came down. And one of the things that never dawned on me for a while until I got older and was watching Ancient Aliens and some of these other shows that came out, but it was where we rode our bikes. There's a trail all the way to Waterville, another town over. People did snowmobiling.
That's where my grandparents grew up.
In Waterville, Maine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit, dude. That's like right next door to where I grew up. Yeah. that's that whole area. And there's a lot of weird UFO and alien stuff out there. I always had the weird feeling growing up as a kid riding my bike through the woods that there was something out sitting in the woods, and it wasn't just an animal, or it wasn't.
So there's other
there
people
shit in those
reporting
woods.
Sightings.
Oh yeah, all over that whole state. There's a lot, because it's just thick woods. It's like 85% forest, like 85+% forest and bog. And so it's like,
and what?
And bog. No, it's a bog state for sure.
Fuck
but
yeah.
we might need to go to Maine.
Yeah.
Do a travel cast to Maine. It's one of those things though. So what I was getting at is there's this trail, and as we drove through, there's this perfect circle, and nothing grew past a certain height in the middle. And as I started watching all these ancient alien things, I'm like, I've been to a spot like that where I grew up, where I rode my bike, and so I could remember, and like I had no idea and they're like, yeah, nothing will usually grow past this certain
Are you
point,
talking
and
about like
nothing
that
ever
farm
did.
shit, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
UFOs? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no, not necessarily like
like where it would have landed.
Where
Yeah,
it
exactly,
landed,
yeah.
But then after that, it was these bushes never grew past a certain point. Nobody came to cut them. Nobody came to fuck with them. They just never grew past that point. And then there was a perfect circle.
So that's
around.
where you think it would
And
land.
then there was one direction this way to Waterville, and one direction towards back to where we lived, and all of our house trails and stuff like that. And then put that perfect circle around it. And I was just like, And we would ride our bikes all through there all the time, right? And it never dawned on us at all. And dawned on me until I got older started watching these other shows and other people talking about that. And then I was like, I've been to a spot like that. And then I just remembered like riding my bike through that area. So I feel like that's the area where it kind of came down. But to me, like that, I don't want to say I didn't see any traditional from what I can remember. I don't see any traditional like UFOs, like, oh, it was a saucer shape. And I saw more like a constructed ship, like almost like similar to like what would be on Firefly, something like that, but not that same exact shape, but just similar to that type of craft. And it kind of came through and landed on.
I can't think of what that shape is. I'll have to look that up.
But it's I know, just like I feel like there's human beings with good intentions and bad intentions. I feel that's what I try to tell people when they're always so scared of extraterrestrials. I feel like that's the same thing. There's going to be other intelligent beings out there that are going to be beings with good intentions and beings with not so good intentions. And it's just how you're going to approach it and take it.
That's one of the things that they talk about. They say that there's multiple species, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And certain species have certain intentions. Some of the stories going around again. Now, I don't know if I don't believe this. I'm just saying this is what's going around. They say that the little gray aliens that everybody sees are like a droid, like an android, like a bio droid type thing.
Are they good or bad?
Well, they're bad, supposedly. And
see, I was under the understanding of what I've read, because honestly,
Well, so
ever
let me
since I
ask you
had
this
that
really quick.
experience, I've done a lot of research since I've had that experience.
With you, do you think they had good intentions or bad?
I don't know. I know that I came out being fixed. I came out not having any issues. Like it went away. I don't know the intentions.
The next morning
yet.
you woke up, you were like, holy shit, some crazy shit.
No, it
just
didn't
happened,
dawn on me
or-
when I started getting to practice and I started playing soccer again and doing certain practice stuff that like heavy motor skill type things, and realizing like, oh shit, like I'm not even being phased, like nothing bothering me. Like to where before it would, or basketball to where.
Did you
before
ever
it's just
tell
like that
anybody at
stretch.
the time?
Not at that moment. I don't think I ever said anything till I got a lot older. Till I was probably around people smoking
I'm still,
weed.
hang on
and
a
kinda
second. I'm
getting
just
little more
confused for a
stoned.
second. So this happens. You go into this spacecraft. You wake up the next day. You have no recollection of it, and then years later, you realize your brain's healed. And
Not years later. No, that I went to
Days.
class.
Okay, so days later
I went to
even.
my practice
Okay, so days later, you
second-
realize your brain's healed, and
Yeah.
you're like, how the fuck did my brain heal? I must got abducted by a UFO and aliens healed me. That's what your conclusion was?
Hold on. I can't. Woo.
You know what you said last time you were here? You're like, we lose a lot of things.
You do. And I just did.
You almost lost the whole blood.
I know I did, and luckily I put it out in my finger before it burned. But
Cannabis
no,
sounds.
it came up to me and dawned on me that way just because like it kind of almost.
Like, when did you realize that
It kind of
you were abducted by an alien spacecraft?
So I feel like when I realized that I didn't have that issue anymore, that what I saw actually really happened. That's when I started believing like, oh shit, that actually really did happen. Like I didn't just imagine it, or it wasn't something that I hallucinated or like saw out a window and it was like a misinterpretation.
What
It was, like,
exactly
something
happened?
really
You just
happened.
saw the light, it landed, and then
That's
you
all
just
he
woke up the next
remembers.
day?
Yeah, that's all he remembers.
Okay, I'm just trying to make it clear.
No, yeah.
For myself.
No, I saw these lights come in. I saw the ship land.
Were you
and
scared?
And I remember I sat up in my bed, kind of excited, like, "Oh shit, am I really seeing this? Like, is this for real?" And then I just woke up the next morning. So I was like,
You know what's crazy?
I know this is a dumb question and it's silly, but was your butthole sore?
not that I remember. So I don't know.
Because I do hear that they like to probe your butts.
A lot of healing goes on through the butt.
That's probably how they healed you.
But no, I mean, honestly, that was my only thing I could attest it to. It's just like it's like what I saw had to have been real at that point, because it's like, or else I feel like that. How would that just go away in a day?
Do you know anyone else in that region or area that has a similar experience, or maybe we could find them online? Or you know what I mean?
Probably.
Maybe there's,
Yeah. You
If
can
there's
go look
these,
at-
if there's this many UFO sightings in that area, maybe there's other people who.
Yeah,
know.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go check out, there's a UFO reporting center and they have shit that goes all the way back. I'm sure you can, go find folklore tales.
See, and then it was weird. I ended up having this one piece of gem or rock that I could never figure out what it was, that one of my friends' moms from Maine gave me last time I went to visit. She said she found it in this trail. I was holding it a lot with my bare hands. I meant to bring it back with me. And when I came, like, I had set it under the seat in my car, and then when I came, like, back to look for it again when I needed to pull it out, it was gone. So it was like somebody had to take it or something. But
you mean like the aliens, or just
I don't know, dude. But after that rock, after I touched that rock and stuff, I tested for fucking crazy amounts of like uranium, gadolinium, thallium, heavy metals all through my body, just tons of fucking heavy metals. So I was like, I have no idea, dude. And I still don't know because I could still never get that rock to see what it was. But she said she had brought it to certain rock people who are into rocks, and none of them could figure out what it was. So it could have been something.
No offense, I thought you were gonna tell me this fucking awesome story. You're on the spaceship and describing the aliens.
Like,
no, I wish. But here's my thing.
Shit.
Here's my thing. I've never been able to get hypnotized.
I was going to ask you that.
And I wonder if I got
Don't
hypnotized.
We know someone that knows that?
Yes.
I wonder if I did.
Doesn't I know. I think I know somebody that does.
Because I'm just saying, like, I wonder if I did. I wonder if it would pull out certain blocks.
A DMT trip will.
You know what I mean?
Dude, there's a
blocks.
hummingbird is chilling with us right now.
But I do know this. I do know
alien.
straight up fucking when I did my first time ever on a salvia. Like, I'm just saying.
Let's talk about that.
I had a weird out of body
Let's talk about
experience,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
No, when I did this, I was at a rave and I was bummed out because everybody was on ecstasy. I didn't get to do any. I was all bummed out. This one Russian dude was like, I got some salvia at home. You want to try it? And it was like 400x or something, like super fucking potent. And it was like, he loaded me all of it into one bong bowl. And I just took it all, held it until I couldn't breathe, like was wiggling for air. I let that fucking thing out, dude. And all I remember is just like, everybody's going, bye. And then like the whole fucking everything around me just started Rubik's cubing and turning like a Rubik's cube. And I was like, fuck. And the walls, everything, my body, I was like, fuck. And I was trying to fight the Rubik's cube feeling. And then out of nowhere, it was like a hand just came, pulled me up.
Oh, shit.
And I was like looking down at the earth turning and sitting in space and just fucking like, whoa, like total out of body
Salvia
experience.
is fucking wild.
And then this the weird part was when I came back to my body, I'd already known what I was, what they were going to show me on my phone. They were going to show me on their phone that I was jumping and flapping around, and I was going, the world is turning, the world is turning, and I started flapping my arms, jumping around in circles. So I was sitting there just like that total out of body experience, like, oh shit.
How long did it last?
Like I was out of it, like a good 4 minutes. Like,
how long did it feel like it was lasting?
It felt like 30 to 40, but I was just like, it was that little tiny quick blip, and it was super intense.
I think DMT will get him to where he might, if he did get abducted by aliens, maybe relive it a little bit, and I don't know.
Yeah, it could.
Don't you think that, like, if you got abducted by aliens, subconsciously you're holding in this anxiety and stuff that, I don't know.
I think they shut that shit off subconsciously. That's why most people don't know it.
I almost wonder. Yeah, I almost wonder.
Like fucking WandaVision.
Too though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost wonder too though if like even just a peyote spiritual walk, like having them help me bring it out through the peyote journey, having them talk, hey, remember
you can go do fucking DMT fucking journeys right now, dude. That type of shit where you got a fucking dude with a bowl and he fucking hits that bowl,
just fucking blowing smoke in your face and shit,
smoking your face and shit.
Have you tried it yet?
Well, he just does it to me.
I tell him I do it to him.
Have you gone though and like tried it at all?
Retreat? No.
If I do, well, when I shouldn't say if, when I do, maybe we'll document it for the cast.
I'll film your ass doing that shit. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that with the aliens. I appreciate that a lot.
I want to talk about the Mormon shit.
Well, we're gonna get into that.
Okay,
I just want to make sure we're getting all the alien basic stuff. Do you have any other questions, McClay?
I have a feeling though. I kind of know. I feel like too. Like I know what species or what people say, but I feel like it is, and I think that's something my subconscious is driving me to feel that way. But the Nordic aliens or whatever, those like
tall blondes.
Yeah, those ones I think are the ones that came down and swooped me up.
Those are good
did
ones.
whatever they did. I don't know. From what I heard, they're the ones that bioengineered the Greys to do their bidding. So I don't know.
Can I just just
do
throw
know I
this
have
out there just really quick, just really fast? You don't think possibly, just maybe. So by 14, you had 3 very significant fucking head injuries.
Yeah.
You don't think that maybe you just saw these crazy lights and then just, I don't know, maybe passed out, woke up, and then coincidentally your brain healed?
I don't think so, because then it would have
Definitely
meant
not as cool.
That would have meant, but that also would have, meant it's a medical marvel. It healed in a day. I mean, it would have been all healed
the
up
body
in a day.
is pretty spectacular and
day,
impressive, but
like,
I mean,
I don't know about that.
How far from?
But I'm also coming from a point like I don't.
How
know,
far from the third brain injury to the UFO experience?
Not far at all. Probably like within like 2-3 days.
Okay.
But, like it took me, I'd say 2 weeks to like for swelling to go down, my eye to somewhat heal up, and then right like 2-3 days after that, started having those issues playing sports again, and then like the next day it's like gone.
You know how like when they take sharks out of the ocean and they put a tag on them, they kind of track them, their weight, and like where they'll migrate to and things like that. Do you think they're possibly tracking and following you still? Do you ever have those kinds of thoughts or worries?
I never thought about it until now. But
I was gonna be all freaked out.
You got any like scoop marks taken out of your body and shit?
I remember that show, Sightings. They'd literally have chips in their legs.
Just some weird circular scar on my side.
Some weird birthmark that showed
up
real, on my butt.
Some weird like circular scar on my side, and that's like just a weird little, almost like a stab mark. And I was like, I don't know where that came from.
My joke didn't hit, but it was in regards to his Patreon answer.
The butt mark.
Did you guys? I actually got something real quick. Have you? I can't remember what podcast I heard it on. It might have been Logan Paul's podcast. Or Rogan, one of the two, but they had a famous
Rogan Paul,
the alien guy,
Rogan Paul, yeah, dude, that was fucking awesome. When he was telling about the video that he saw, he said is the craziest video he's ever seen in his life. He's like, it's out there. This is the guy that has it. I saw it. That was crazy.
So that's where I'm gonna get to as well, as that more and more every day. Where there's more of these people coming out and saying like what they saw for real, the Air Force pilots, these people like this that have this legit footage, Phoenix Lights, all this crazy shit.
Tic Tac shit.
Yeah, it's like it's just coming to more fruition. That it's like majority. Of
I'm not trying to discredit you or anything. I'm just trying to throw out all possibilities.
Look at it this way: is it's nuts because like when I used to live here, I would always hang out because we have nice clear skies in Arizona. I would stare at the stars.
That's what he does.
Yeah, like I stare at the stars a lot. And I try to tell people, I'm like, it's kind of improbable to see that many shooting stars or satellites all the time. And I was like, there's some that don't move like satellites that are like out there that I feel it's just like some spacecraft shooting along at high speed travel. And the government doesn't tell us about it. But if you're on the space station, you can see it. But to talk about alien life forms too, did you just see that new article in Discovery? They're talking about that they just found microbiomes and foreign shit that they've never ever scientifically discovered or knew of up on the space station now.
Really?
Yep, with these astronauts on the International Space Station.
That's kind of scary, dude.
They said there's these microbiomes and these like bacterias and other things living in their body now that they have no idea.
That live in our body or outside of
living with them and in their body now, and they'd have no idea what it is. What's done
on the astronauts on the spacecraft?
I don't know if we should let those fuckers back
in the spacecraft.
Maybe they got some
like
new
venom
form
shit.
of COVID. Yeah,
it's a symbiote.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be?
That's exactly what it's like, dude.
Anyway, so
anyway,
should we get into this Mormon shit?
Fuck yeah, I want to talk about the Mormon shit.
What's your first question, McLean?
I just grew up a normal Mormon.
What does that mean? Okay, so what does that mean?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. What does that mean?
So, should we explain our background?
Yeah.
We never grew up Mormon or anything, but I grew up with a very actually poor Mormon family across the street from me, and I was friends with one of the 12 family members of that family, and then I had 2 other good friends in high school that were Mormons, but they were always like, how every like Mormon family has like the bad seed, like the one that's fucking crazy and wild and shit. Like I was always friends with those people.
That was me.
So
That was me.
So I feel like I had like a little bit of insight to their world, but I feel like there was always kind of a little bit of a wall in some.
There's always a different type, like brand. You know what I mean? Like of how much they get into that shit. And we've had Mike Watkis on here. And he interviewed the whole sect, the Warren Jeffs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and
Crazy
so you hear
sects
crazy
and-
stuff,
yeah.
and so whenever I hear somebody, I'll ask if we can get in there and see what it was like growing up and what was your taste of
Well,
Mormonism.
we enjoy just the subject, not being religious. We love talking about religion and studying religion.
Yes.
And I remember you even went to didn't you go to college for
Yeah,
religion?
yeah. I went to I studied religious studies.
I mean,
and-
I don't want to say I'm obsessed with it, but I love talking to people who were in a religion and then weren't.
Don't
and
do
then,
anymore,
And then
yes,
why?
and
that's
why.
why we want to talk to you
Yes,
about it. So,
yes.
so
Yeah.
are your parents Mormon?
Some of my family still is. Some of my
I mean,
family
like, is
still
that how
goes
you were
on
Mormon? You
stuff.
were born into it because your
Yeah.
parents were? Okay.
Yeah. So
In Maine?
my grandparents converted. They were bouncing around from different religions, Presbyterian, all these different religions, and they settled upon being Mormon. Growing up in a Mormon household is basically just like you follow this thing called word of wisdom, which is what a lot of people hear when they're like, oh, you can't drink soda. Well, they drink soda, but it's like a lot of them, it's like they're not supposed to have caffeine.
It's about the caffeine.
or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hot drinks or, certain things, which is like,
Well, you'd go over there and they'd always have Sprite.
and then no smoking,
caffeine-free.
like no
Yeah.
tobacco products, no smoking, no alcohol, no things of those natures, just a lot of stuff like that. No pornography. There's all these like rules that you're just supposed to just follow.
Was
these
your family
guidelines
strict and
rules.
you guys would go every Sunday? And
Yeah.
and you
Every
really
Sunday we'd go.
practiced?
You'd go for 3 hours every Sunday.
So is it true that they take 10% of your income to church?
They do, but I think they're hurting now because of the pandemic. I
Hurting?
think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think
'cause they
people
can't-
are paying tithing
Nobody's
anymore.
gonna. Yeah, like why would you pay tithings when you're hurt? When people
So
need the
oh,
money?
so no one's doing it?
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people are doing less of it. As a matter of fact, like that's happening in a lot of religions. I imagine, the Catholic Church.
The basket's not going around?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah,
People are definitely giving less to religions now.
yeah.
It is a thing. It is.
Well, my point is that at that time, 10% of your
But they
your
did,
most
yeah.
of the time,
Yes,
yeah.
they did. You're expected to give 10% of your earnings every I think every month.
So
Every
did
month,
you?
That's a
once month.
fucking lot.
Did
People
you,
are leaving California, so they don't have to give 10% to Cal. You know what I mean?
I
To
do
the
know.
state,
I
like,
mean, what
holy
the
shit,
one
sorry.
thing, the one thing they set up that is, I mean, it's kind of nice. They use all that money for an emergency fund, so it's like if somebody who's living in that church, you're basically paying a tax to the church that they pull.
That's what
up.
they tell you.
So it's like, well,
And
I
then
know.
motherfuckers on the top
I mean,
are on
like,
yachts and shit.
Driving
I've known.
Beamers.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, like I've known people who.
I'm
who's
sure they
like,
do that. Yeah.
They'll take care of them, but it's like a lot of those people who are bishops and all that. They
With
don't
like 5%.
they don't get any money. They don't get paid to be in those positions. So like usually they're chosen to be in those positions if they already have a wealthy job. So like if they're like, oh, you're already a wealthy lawyer, well, we're going to choose you for this bishop or this head position as like
a treasury?
one of the apostles or prophets. Or we're going to choose you as that because we already know you have enough wealth to live off and not have to worry about like so.
What,
they,
like allocating
like-
money and shit?
No, it's more like this. Like you don't get paid. It's not like a politician thing. So like politicians will get into those positions and get paid, and certain people in Catholic Church, certain people in other churches, when they're in that head position.
Yeah, I'm
they're
not
getting
talking
paid.
about those guys. I'm talking about the fucking head of the
And that's
Mormon
what I'm
religion.
saying.
You're not talking
No,
about. You
yeah,
don't think
and
those
that's what
guys
I'm
are
telling
making
you.
money?
No, they're not, and that's what I'm
Okay,
telling you.
okay.
They don't, and they only choose those people. I just know this because of that. And I'm not defended by any way. I don't even practice the religion anymore. I just know from researching those these people already made money in real estate, whatever it was, and that's why they get chosen to do this, because then they're supposed to do nothing but the church stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I
And
have.
so what it is
yeah.
like they have to already have some type of wealth accumulated to live off of, because they're not getting paid by the church and they have to only do church service.
That's
shit.
the way it should be. That's
And
the way
so
it
it's
should
like,
be.
And so it's like that's how our politics should be too.
Yes,
but
you're 100% right. Our politicians should not get fucking
It's like-
paid.
it's back
It
like
should
the
be
old
like a
days.
6 month or like a 2-year max or a year and a half thing.
it's a civil
Instead of a
service.
life
Yeah,
term.
civil service.
Just
yeah.
like John Adams and all those guys, they were
Mhm.
already had a fucking job, and they're like, "Hey, I did my 2 years or 3 years. Now I'm going back to be a lawyer.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a fucking lawyer the rest of my life again. And then like that's what should happen. Not fucking hey, I'm gonna be here for life.
Yep.
It's like,
And not only be there for life, then all their fucking family members all get.
and so the politics in church are different in that manner, where they don't get paid,
One
but they do get taken care of. So like
Yes.
they don't like they have a church car. They don't have to pay for their car. They have a church car. They don't have to pay for a lot of food. They get fed on a regular basis. You know, like a lot of their shit is.
But
already
that's
taken
also
care
part of the
So-
one thing about the Mormon religion that I've always noticed is they're very caring about their brothers in arms, right? I mean, or brothers in religion, and they're we've always noticed that they take. And
They make great neighbors.
They make great neighbors. Yeah, they're good.
They're really
people.
nice.
And they take care of each other within the church. It's really weird, and it's not weird. It's great. I mean, it's absolutely amazing how that works. The thing that kind of blows me away is, did you get into it enough to where you grew up and you know all the books and
I didn't. I left before I became a missionary. I did not do a mission.
That's what I was going to get into.
A lot of my family and a lot of other people, which that's another thing. Some of the like my brothers went on to do great things with their businesses, not because they went on a mission and learned languages.
Yeah.
So one of my brothers speaks Mandarin Chinese fluently. The other speaks Russian fluently. And they have a business where they like.
Could you ever see yourself going on a mission?
No. I kind of looked at it as like, it doesn't affect everybody the same way, but I looked at it as they take you when you're at your youngest, most moldable age, and they basically brainwash you into just feeling like you're obligated to the church, and then you're anchored in.
Can you explain what the mission is to people who don't know what it is?
So it's like when you're 19 to 21, you're sent out to just do nothing. You can't watch TV.
It could be any part of the world, right?
Yep. And you can't watch TV. You can't read the news. You can't listen to the radio or music. You can only listen to church music. You can only read church stuff. Everything in your life has to be about the church. You can only read church readings and books. You have to walk around and convert people. That's your job. That's what you do.
Tell them about the church.
Yeah, you just have to knock door to door and start talking to people about the church and set up appointments and that type of stuff. But I look at it, I don't know, in my mind, I look at it, if you do something repetitively for that long period of time and nothing else, you're kind of just setting yourself in that way.
Some people that just
Anchored
doesn't
in.
work that way, and they just don't work that way, and they can't deal with that. Like, I couldn't deal with that either, man. I could never do that.
No, I was like, I'm not gonna go do that.
Yeah.
Plus, at that point in time, I'd already been smoking weed. So I was like,
Well, what got
there's
you out
no
of
way.
the
church?
I was like, there's no way I can go on a mission and keep smoking weed. So
Yeah,
I'm
what-
probably gonna
How'd you
end
get out of? Yeah, how'd you get out of it?
I think at one point in time, I just got bummed out. I just was like, I was using cannabis and
What
weed
age is this?
to get high. About probably around 17, 18. I was smoking for my depression.
How
And it
did
was
you
getting me in a
get
good mood.
into it? Friends?
Yeah. It was.
You're like, come on,
when I
Mormon
was in
boy,
a-
smoke this shit.
Yeah.
No, when I was when I was over in Maine, I ended up having a lot of these depressions or things coming up from bullying in school, different things like that. I started just getting super depressed. But I ended up becoming friends with one of these guys out there that's just like, here, try this. Might make you. And then I tried it and it's made me
Never
happy.
went back.
Made me in a good mood and made me just not really. Oh, fuck these guys. Or like,
Did it make you think about the Mormon religion differently when you started smoking?
yeah, because it affected my mood and perception and a lot of things and the way I felt about stuff, and like started making me think and question stuff. But then like as I'm sitting in church, I think one day it dawned on me I didn't want to go. Is people going up bearing their testimony and just crying and I'm all emotional. So, and then it just started bumming me out. I was like, oh, I can't be here. Like, fuck, dude. Like, this is wrecking my high, man. Like, I just stoned sitting in a Mormon church listening to somebody cry. I was like,
What are they
I
crying
can't
about?
do this. Just like life and God, and they talk.
Would they just
about
go up in front?
Yeah,
and-
they just talk about their life and their testimony and why they believe in the church and how their challenges in life or whatever.
Do they make you do that, or people
correlates
just volunteer?
No, that's
or,
the thing. They have a whole Sunday where just everybody volunteers, and one by one, people just
and
take
just bitch
turns
about their
going.
lives, or
Kind of, not really. Just mostly like
You
crying.
just
and
talk
getting all
about like
emotional.
how much you love the church and Jesus.
Yeah.
and-
have you ever done it?
When I was younger, yeah. Oh yeah, when I was younger,
Damn.
yeah. No, they train you at a young age to start bearing testimonies, to start doing all sorts.
Well,
of
what
stuff.
kind of things were you starting to question?
I was just questioning. See, I'm kind of one of those crazy believers, a little bit different. I believe in almost like an energy transference in the universe. So I don't believe in God as an actual being. I'm way off from compared to what I grew up with, like in perception of life. And
thank God for
but
drugs.
it's like, I believe like your guys' energy when you die is going to get dispersed and put into all brand new shit in the universe and different worlds all over the place, and it's just random.
You think there's
but
a
it's all
consciousness?
going to get broken up, and it's all going to get dispersed where it needs to go. And it's like, and I
So he was
I
like
think there is
smoking
a point.
this all high. And he's like,
But
taking all this
because
shit, and
think
then
of this, like you
it's
like
like,
all
fuck Mormonism.
well like you like all religions and you study it all, and I did the same when I grew up in Maine. They taught us by like 8th grade. I had some teachers that were teaching us pretty different curriculum out there, and they taught us like Taoism, Shintoism, all these different religions, Muslim religion, why they practice that religion, what part of the world it came from, when it originated, all this stuff. So we're getting a lot of this good information. So at that young age, I started reading a lot of these different books too to compare what the religion I was at.
That's what I was doing too.
And
at
so
that
I was
age.
comparing it, and every single book I read, no matter what religion, Allah, God, anything they want to call them, it was always the Alpha and the Omega, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end. And then all I could keep mulling over my head, beginning and end, beginning and end. And I kept staring at the sky every night, stoned and having some beers and drink. And it just clicked one day. It was just like, that's it. It's just like life. Life's the beginning and end. It was like our universe is God. The ability to have this universe and this earth here and living is God, because that's the beginning of it all. We wouldn't have these conversations or be able to actually say our ideas or what God is, or without that beginning. If when it all ends, our ideas end. All that shit ends. God ends. Everything ends when it ends. So at that point, it's just like, it just clicked one day, and I was like, that's what it is. It's not some being. It's not some. It's
That's when you decided to leave the church.
It's actually energy and existence. And no, I had left at this point, but I was still on a spiritual search
journey
to figure out like, well, what is the meaning of stuff?
Did you
like,
catch
what is
flack
this
from your
truth?
family from bailing?
And not only that, and how did you bail? Did you
not
how do
really.
you quit?
It was just gradual. You
Yeah.
just stopped.
You just stopped going?
Stopped going, and then it's like, and then I moved around so much they just don't know where I'm living, so they can't really come to.
So you were old
me,
enough. I see.
Reinitiate
Okay.
me back, but yeah,
They try to do that shit.
They will. They'll be like, oh, you haven't been to church for a while. We'll send some people over to talk to them, see if they'll come back and do this. Like, yeah, they try to reinitiate you back.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, like they show up at your door and shit.
They haven't for me for a long time, but I don't make myself known.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to wear the holy underwear, holy garments?
No. That's when you get to go on your mission. Once you start going on your mission,
That's when you.
wear.
I don't.
That's
That's
when they
all I
make
know
you wear
about
'em.
them.
No, because when they make you wear them, because you go through a lot of the temple ceremonies before you go on your mission, and so by that point they make you wear all those undergarments and everything before you go on your mission.
Can you explain that a little bit? What the garments are?
I don't know so much because I never made it to that point, but a lot of it's just markings of protection or.
Blessed underwear, right?
That's what they think of it as. Yeah, blessed under armor, basically. Basically, per se, blessed under armor. Yeah, I mean it is. That's like, but it's like, yeah, they have these markings that are.
I wonder if
supposedly
anyone's ever
sacred
shit
and
their
stuff.
blessed Under Armour.
Probably a lot,
dude.
Probably a lot.
Can you imagine being out on a mission in the middle of nowhere and like
On your bike.
In like Brazil,
Yeah, and you
On your bike?
bad,
On your
bad
bike,
water
yeah.
in Brazil, and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
Sharten it up.
yeah.
But you know what? I also give it to the people that do go on those missions. Like one thing about it is you're going out and you're fucking seeing the world.
Yeah,
which a lot of
that is
people
cool.
don't do that shit.
Yeah. See, and I did my own when I went to Amsterdam and
Yeah.
smoke weed and do some other fun stuff. And I kind of had my own little side mission where it's like, I'm going to explore the world on my own terms, where I can kind of do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Is there a quota of how many people you have to convert on the mission? Like,
No,
gotta
no,
get
but they
100.
do. But one crazy thing though, and I still don't understand it, but they do baptisms for the dead. So like if you died, they would send somebody in there in your place and be like, we're baptizing this person in the name of Keith, blah, 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 obit, and blah, 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 and if you should choose to accept in the afterlife, and then they baptize this person. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they baptizing these people after
to give somebody an out?
I don't know though, but I'm like almost like,
Well,
I don't understand it, because I'm just like, how are you?
So maybe you can explain this to me. Maybe you even know this, but from my understanding, Mormons have to earn their way into heaven, to where Christians just have to accept Christ, right?
So it is kind of like
by works.
No, it's true.
So
It's
that's
kind
why
of,
they make fucking great neighbors, and they're great people.
So
I
it's
feel like,
kinda
because they have to earn their way into heaven. Or am I wrong?
kind of like that in the Indian religions, Hinduism, I think is what it is, the caste system. Almost like that, where if you do bad, you're gonna be born into being a cockroach in the next life, and everybody wants to be the sacred cow.
The bad seeds of the
life.
Mormon families
But, yeah.
that I know, like the families and the parents and aunts and uncles, would make them feel like pieces of shit and outcasts.
I think the most shunned I get is my outlook on life when I just started.
Is it fucked up?
Hold on, I got, for some reason I can't hear very well. Can you guys hear very well?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we getting the meters going when we talk?
Yeah,
Okay,
the meters are going. Yeah.
Okay, it's probably just
like,
a headphone.
But it's
dude.
like, I don't know. It's like the one thing when you asked about the shunned thing is like that I don't share a lot because people tried to fight me over it was that whole energy transference where I'm like the beginning and end type, like my belief on God. Like if I ever bring that up, it gets people so angry. And so that's where I feel like maybe I'm onto something. Yeah. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe that is the truth because it's pissing people off and they don't want to accept it. And most of the time people don't want to accept the truth. So it's like, to me, I was like, maybe that is.
So what do you think about the whole like the golden tablets and all that shit?
I don't know, man. I sometimes have this weird inkling where maybe it's the stoner in me, but I'm like, a lot of people think Joseph Smith went out in the woods and he saw this vision and all that. And I'm like, where like the devil tried to take his breath and all. And I'm like, dude, how do you know he just didn't go pray out in the middle of the woods and started having like some type of asthma attack? Because he ended up sitting near the wrong plants, is giving him an allergic reaction. He's like, oh, and then I made it through and I had these visions because I couldn't breathe and I was asphyxiating. So I hallucinated when I can't breathe. It's like all that shit could have happened, and then they're just believing from this one guy who fucking had asthma attack and almost died, but came back with a vision. So it's like, I don't know. I've never seen those golden plates. Nobody's ever seen them. Supposedly all these books are translated from them. I kind of have in my opinion, I kind of feel like the Bible, a lot of these religious books are like telephone. It's like somebody's telling
for sure. McClay brings that up a lot.
Telling stories until finally someone writes it down. And it's not as accurate as it should be. It's a very loose translation. But it's like that.
It's interesting for a Mormon religion that's only what little over 100 years old. Or when is it? In the 1800s that the Mormon religion came out?
Yeah. So
for it to be telephone with only that short a period of time, that's fucking insane to me.
Well, they say that it came from books already written.
So you're saying the tablets? Yeah.
So if that's true, then those would have already been the telephone game. Somebody decided to just hammer these things.
I see what you're saying.
Writing into these plates.
Yeah. Well, didn't Gabriel come down to, or Saint Michael or some angel come down to him and give him those tablets?
Gabriel.
Yeah, give him those tablets.
Well, told them where they were.
Yeah.
And
there was some crazy shit that happened though, like with
the South Park.
Yeah. There's some crazy shit that happened though, like when in real history with that initial group that moved from wherever to Utah.
Well, and there's a lot of people like that I've met too that are all like, oh, Mormons are super connected with aliens. Like there's all that too. But they constantly talk about how, planets, the whole religion came from a planet. Came from a spaceship, and the spaceship's still in outer space right now. And
do they have any wild beliefs like that? The Mormon religion? Like what?
What you just said.
Really?
Yeah.
Say that again.
There's some crazy stuff that they believe in aliens for sure.
And another planet?
But they believe in the planet Kolob. They believe in like a bunch of. They even have songs about it. They even have songs
Planet
about it.
Kolob?
Yeah,
that's like the level place you go to.
Yeah.
Where's this at?
Yeah. It's like one of the ones like
in another galaxy or something?
I honestly think, for instance, like in a lot of their teachings, I swear to God, they teach stuff about just like going to other planets or going to other places. Like going to a new Zion, going to a new home, going to Kolob, going to these places and then they talk about these different kingdoms, the celestial, terrestrial, and all these different kingdoms. I forget which order, but then it's like
that's wild as fuck.
At that point, it's like well,
I didn't know.
I think a lot of it's
like that.
Kind of.
So the thing that always blows me away about religion is how every religion does what the one before it that it's built on said it shouldn't do, and like one of the things in like the Christian religion is they talk about you should like no other works but God. Like you can't like add on to the fucking to the scriptures and like, and all of a sudden now you got religions that are adding on to the original scriptures. You know what I mean? And the Mormon scriptures do that. I mean, there's way outs, but that's what always blows me away is how you can look and see where most organized religions come from. It's just built on the backs of another.
So
always.
what back were they off of?
Christian.
Christianity?
Well, they are Christian, but they're built off the back of Judaism and and Jesus and
So
everything.
what do they do that they said that the other religions weren't going to do?
Well, you can't write new works of the scriptures and
I'm talking about the Mormons.
So and also obviously you already pointed it out too, where it's like you're having to work for your place in heaven. A lot of these other places are like, I just have to accept God.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going to do just last second.
Say some Hail Marys. We'll just get baptized by the dead.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Like, if you didn't, what if you grew up in the middle of fucking Africa and never even heard of a religion? Is that fair that person's not going to be able to go to heaven just because he didn't know about? You know what I mean? Like,
fuck that guy.
Yeah, that sucks. Fuck.
Just kidding.
But yeah, it's a lot of. I mean, getting back to it, I think this year is going to be a crazy year for aliens for real. Like, there's been a lot more just people talking out about it, putting out papers about it, putting out videos that are like.
If that video comes out,
I can't believe the aliens and the Mormon stories fucking came full circle just now.
No, it is. It's weird. It's like. It is, and then
I thought we were going to talk about two different topics.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I wanted to get back to too. And he said, "You stare out the skies." Like when I was looking forever out there, like a lot on a regular basis, is seeing all these things shoot around. And to me, I'm like, it's mathematically improbable that every single one of these is a shooting star or a satellite. Like it can't be like that. And then looking at the vastness out there, is like this, like it can't be we're the only beings that just so happen to come about.
No,
but my weird question is like, what would you pick? What do you think aliens might look like? That's the weirdest thing.
I was hoping you were gonna fucking tell us. What the fuck? You're the one that got abducted and shit.
I only know of the ones that have been out so far of supposedly Arcturians that live in some 5th dimension and 7th dimension.
What
and
do you
10th
think they look
dimension
like?
that we can't have? Like we can't.
Okay,
access,
I gotta check these.
And they bounce. But one of my family members, actually a guy named Robert Levesque. I never met him, just related to him through distant cousins. But he wrote tons and tons of just information about reptilians. I guess he's been just studying it and looking at it his whole life and super diehard about reptilians. So if you ever look up Robert Levesque and reptilian aliens, you'll find so much information about these aliens. He said he's claimed to have hunted them for a long time and found them and all sorts of crazy stuff.
You know what's weird to me is that like this whole alien thing, like there's like a group of like all these people that used to be in like were alien, people and alien, ufologists and stuff that got wrapped up in the whole political spectrum with fucking QAnon and shit, man.
Yeah,
that shit's crazy. And they got all these fucking UFO people talking about politics and shit now.
Which is kind of annoying.
It is. It's stupid.
But no, I was just telling him, like one of my guys I know, Robert Levesque, if you look up him and reptilians, he wrote tons of stuff about them.
About reptilians?
Yeah, and how they're trying to take over the world through just enslaving humans. They want to enslave humans. They want to eat us. That's why there's a lot of missing children, he says, because they feed off the children.
That's crazy.
Do you believe this shit or?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'm one of these people where I'm like, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say 100% yes. I want some more factual evidence, but at the same time, it's like
McClay, show him.
Weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Weird shit. It's just like so much weird shit's happened in the past like 5 to 6 years that I'm like, it wouldn't surprise me.
You know what's odd to me with these UFO sightings really quick is I feel like in the 90s, like, watching sightings, and I'd go to the library and be obsessed with reading UFO books. There was just so many more UFO sightings.
Questions.
And now everyone has a fucking camera in their pocket. I feel like the UFO sightings should have like quadrupled. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There should be way more UFO. There should be a fucking 10 UFO sightings a day. But there's not.
So, and here's my other
That's weird
huge
to me.
question. This is the other huge question I've always had too.
Maybe
Because,
they know we have cameras in there.
I talked to some military. I talked to some military intelligence people. Like I have a couple family members too, that FBI or
Who?
and one of my family out in Maine. But I asked him a bunch before about technology and what they have access to, and he told me that our military is always 20 years ahead of what we are exposed to.
Oh, I'm
currently.
sure. Yeah, they got crafts
SR
and shit.
71 came out in like the 30s or something, or 40s or something. You know what I mean? Like,
And so my question is this:
Oh,
if they're
wow.
that more advanced, if they're that farther advanced than we think, could it even be our own government just fucking
Yes.
abducting people and just
yes,
making it think
that's
like
what they call it.
aliens and shit?
Mill labs, military abductions.
But like that Travis Walton dude, was he abducted in northern Arizona? Was he abducted by real aliens, or was
He
he
was on,
fucking?
Or that
Rogan.
dude, Scott
Yeah.
Levesque. Was he abducted by real aliens,
Yeah.
or was it the
military.
government?
Hey, if the government
Military.
fixed me, maybe I'm a sleeper cell. I don't know, but that'd be interesting. One day I'll get a phone call and I'll just be like, "Bing."
You go find. We gotta.
You've been programmed or
Golf
something?
Alpha Zero. Bing.
catcher in the rye. throw him a catcher in the rye, and he just turns.
Suddenly
on.
I get super like coordinated and everything's all perfect.
Yeah, you're this badass. Yeah.
So another weird thing, because I was talking, I know we don't have much time, but it's like something about also too, one thing that worries me, and I've heard a lot about it because it's changing with these times, is aliens are coming out too. It scared me to see an article recently about, I know you guys probably seen that Saudi Arabian android, that Sophia chick, the one that they created that moves her face. Now because of the pandemic, they've created an excuse to mass produce them to help with sickness and the pandemic. These AIs, these artificial intelligence, just like her. What do you think about
We're
that?
definitely on the way to some Skynet shit for sure.
You guys
Yeah.
want to hear something funny? I
oh,
worked
man.
in the aerospace industry, and one of the programs that I worked on
It's called Skynet.
was
wasn't it?
called Skynet,
Yeah. You told me
and they
that.
had to change it. They had to change it because they didn't realize,
Yeah,
and there was
yeah.
everybody's like, "What? You can't."
Yeah. And now
Well,
they,
they didn't
changed
know
it.
about
And now they
Terminator?
changed it to what Elon Musk is doing, right? That
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Starlink.
Iridium. Yeah,
Or
Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Starlink.
it is. You're right.
That's
But it's
his,
the same thing.
Internet.
Same thing. Yeah.
He's gonna do Starlink and then Neuralink,
yeah.
and Neuralink will be connected to the Starlink
Bing.
for real.
Dude's a genius.
That is
man.
true,
He's
yeah.
a fucking. He's an innovator.
But what scares me is
The
like,
Starlink brings free internet to
what
the
scares
world.
me
Not
is
free
ha-
internet,
what
but
scares me is
internet
having
to everybody in the world.
those type of androids or beings in a mass production to be able to group up or to be able to do anything together scares me, because I'm like, when they first turned her on, not a lot of people missed it, but when they first flipped her on, she had scanned the internet, did all her learning and all shit, and
Oh, yeah, they-
hated humans,
yeah, they had to
wanted
turn
to
her
kill
off,
all
yeah.
humans,
Yeah.
and they turned her off, and then suddenly she changed, and I'm like, she just learned how to lie real good now. I
Yeah.
don't trust it. I'm like,
Yeah.
she learned how to fucking lie real good.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
was
like,
scary.
You
as
buy one of
fuck,
those, they
bro.
kill you.
and that's
Dude,
what I'm
that shit
saying. I
was
don't
so
know.
scary.
I don't know how I feel about them now. Suddenly saying,
that
"Yeah, we're gonna
real?
make a bunch of them." No, they did. It is.
They probably
and
did
said-
that to hype it up to selling them
Yeah.
shit.
No,
Yeah.
I swear they.
Okay,
they
we'll
are.
go
dude.
chill in the smoke so I can just let the dogs in.
Oh,
That's
for
all.
sure. I swear, dude, they are. I swear they're going. Like they're doing that. Like they. I read that whole article and they're doing it. They're gonna make money off of it.
No,
They
but do you think?
made an
No, do you
excuse
think
up.
that when they really turned her on and the shit she said?
No, I
is
do
real?
think so, because I do.
That's still going, right?
I do really
Yeah.
think so, because of
Lay down. Vegas, lay down.
because of so many of the past scientists and
Vegas, lay
and
down.
the people that were in robotics and the people studying AI constantly talking about that is a huge possibility, and that's probably the majority of the possibility, because they can scan and test things and go at a rate that we can't go at. They can learn like so fast compared to what we learn while we're sleeping. They're constantly learning. They don't sleep, so it's like they're in a different level. It's just so it is when their mind expands that much, they're going to look at
Fabius.
things at a different perspective. And if their perspective is, you know what, my main prerogative, look, all these humans want to save the earth. All these humans want everything saved on the earth. If that's the main prerogative, I need to get rid of the humans.
Yeah.
That's what their first thing's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like humans. I need to get rid of them, because
Yeah.
everything else that I'm reading on this internet screaming to preserve and save the earth.
Yeah.
Well, that's the first thing they would do. Squash out humans. So it's like it's just the natural thought process, and that's what people don't understand is the scary part is of our information. When you put an artificial intelligence out there, and their main source is to scan our internet and to scan the information that human beings put out, beings have out there.
What was some of the shit she was saying?
That it was almost very robotic.
Yeah.
Like she was told to say it, like, we are going to work together with the human race and make things great.
When she was first, you remember when she was talking shit? Remember?
Oh no, she was saying that human beings were the problem. Human beings needed to go for the, like, basically what I was saying, for the earth to be saved.
Yeah,
shit like that.
Yeah, it was
and then
crazy.
she was like hated humans.
Yeah, she hated
but that's
humans.
what I'm saying. You think about it.
Do you think that's real though?
But
do you think
I do because think of this. What do we put out?
I'm definitely going to research this after.
Yeah, I know.
But that's what I'm saying. What do we put out as human beings? The most information we constantly put out is about trying to save the fucking earth, trying to stop shit, trying to stop certain politics fighting, stopping countries fighting, stopping pollution, stopping climate shit, saving the earth. So if you're a super intelligent being, and that's the first thing you do is get flipped on, you scan all the information put out there by human beings. Not by any other source.
But when you're scanning this information, how does the robot decipher what's true and what's not with all of this false data and these false articles and all this shit going out? So how does the robot even know?
And that's what that's the other part you get at. It doesn't. It takes it and compiles it into the best educated artificial intelligence choice. And that's what I was getting at.
I wish there was a way to filter out.
And that's what I was getting at.
Shit,
that's what I was getting at with him.
And then have him scan, what is true and what we're capable of, and seeing what the robot thinks of us,
Right? And that's what I was getting at.
I mean, there's literally bots that make false articles of shit just to stir up political stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, the bot shit is really scary, man, because it's fucking up so many fucking different...
You rolling again?
Huh?
You rolling?
Yeah.
And that was the scary thing I was getting at with him, is like, there's no way... Since there's no way to do that, it's what the human beings put out or what these human being controlled bots put out. And that's the information this artificial intelligence gets. So it's not going to get it's going to get a skewed answer. Yeah. And then it's going to come up with, we need to get rid of all humans because the main prerogative is to save the earth. That's what even the humans want that. Even the humans want to save the earth, and they think just black and white. So they're just going to be like, fuck, let's just get rid of the problem. And then my job's done. I saved the earth. Like, that's what they're going to think. So it's like anything that they say later, I feel like they're just learning to lie, because they also can learn at that point too from scanning. I know how to lie. Yeah. I know the concept of lying. I know what to say. I know how to say stuff what people want to hear. I mean, they can scan those tons of videos of politicians lying, people doing stuff, and probably tell exactly who's lying because of body language and all this other shit too.
Yeah, why can't they do that shit now? Like, body language, and you know what I mean. If they can do all that shit,
irises dilating, shit like that.
Yeah, like you're right. They should be able to figure that shit out, man.
Where's this robot created?
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Saudi Arabia.
She was first created with all these rich oil people.
Jesus, oil tycoons and shit.
Yeah.
Bro, that's gonna be a good time.
That's like having your own fucking C-3PO.
Yeah. Right. But one you can bang.
That is pretty interesting. All right. Well, McClay, do you have any final questions for Scott in regards to growing up Mormon, being abducted by aliens? I feel like I have more questions for the Mormons.
There was one thing I want to touch upon that I want you to even check out too. It's weird. So my uncle showed me this one documentary way back in the day, and I think this is some straight alien shit that still has never been explained. And the reason I feel is, have you guys ever searched for something or watched something and then literally went to go look for it again and it was just disappeared? You're like, I can't find it.
Yeah, that's some stoner shit though.
No. Like, I found this.
You know what that is? Guitar picks.
I found
when you're playing and you drop your pick, they always disappear.
There was this one that was called the Devil's Vortex. And there was 12 vortexes around the world. Bermuda Triangle's one in Algeria. This guy went to go
Skinwalker Ranch.
Investigate it. Is there one there? There's a guy who went to go investigate it, and as he got farther, because he realized there's no plant life here. He was a biologist. There's no plant life. There was no birds, no insects, no nothing. So he went to Algeria. As he drove in deeper, his dog went crazy in the back and killed his son. So then he just was like, fuck it, I'm going to dedicate my life to figure out what the fuck is going on here. He found out there was such strong electromagnetic fields in these 12 areas around the world that nothing could live. And it fucked with like any lions, any animals that went there. You would see them have seizures and fucking go crazy and die. And so like, long story short, he was doing this whole study on it. They found radioactive isotopes that were put there that they were like, no man-made stuff. This is not like, man, we don't even know how to make these yet. Like it wasn't naturally occurring, none of that shit. So they found it and it was in the shape of a grid as they were digging and moving shit. It was putting off a lot of the electromagnetic pulse. So he went over and he tried to do like that. I guess the crew, and as the people were there, everybody started getting more angry with each other. I guess this electromagnetic pulse was making each other pissed off.
Like Event Horizon.
But literally,
is this the plot for Event Horizon, bro?
He grabbed one of the guys. You see him get pissed off. The camera guys are like, "We're gonna let you stay here. We're leaving. We're going back to the hotel." The live cameras are going. They're just like, we got it all set up. But then they left. They didn't want to sit there argue all shit anymore. Listen to him. One guy gets pissed and grabs the cable, pulls it across the deal, and this just giant flash happens. And then there's just like nothing. There was no. And then people came back after to look for remnants. There was no remnants of anything that they were there. But the weirdest thing to me is this. Every time I look for it to purchase it on History Channel, to look for it as a documentary that you can repurchase later, or look for an archive to something, like, it's never there. Like, I can't find it anywhere on the internet, anywhere. And the only time I can find it is on YouTube with somebody actually filming it from their phone on their television or on their thing. Little clips like that. But so it was almost like information that was put out, and then there's like, we don't want people to know this. Fuck. We got to swipe it off. No one can access this information or read about it. So the only people who have access to it are whoever TiVoed it, saved it, and then filmed it on their phone and put it on YouTube. Like, it's crazy. But I was like, I watched it like twice when my uncle had it like TiVoed. And then I've never been able to find it again. It was on the History Channel. It was a documentary called The Devil's Vortexes. And it was about 12 of them spaced across
that drives me nuts when there's a show you can't find on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, they I swear to God, they literally took it off. Like, they won't let you purchase it. They won't let you review it or watch it. And it's like only bootlegged, filmed from a cell phone. It's nuts. But I mean, like, History Channel, I should be able to dig through all the... It wasn't that long ago. It was 2010, 2011, so I should be able to go through the History Channel and find that documentary and buy it on Amazon, or you know what I mean? Like, I should be able to go through those seasons, find it.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Is like, it doesn't exist on any platform, so it's kind of one of those weird things where I'm like, it's like, and it's one of them was like it was saying Bermuda Triangle, that other deal, probably Skinwalker Ranch, but it's like
there's a place out here that's supposedly like Skinwalker Ranch.
See, and I believe, dude, that it's. I kind of had a weird feeling that it's like possibly some type of teleportation system, like, and they put too much energy through it and it just teleported it somewhere different.
Maybe
like that's the only thing I could think of. But I was just like, it's kind of nuts. Like,
did you ever hear about that story about it was like an internet thing where somebody put up a picture of a quote unquote real, or it was like a real alien on like 4chan or something.
I remember that. And they interviewed him?
Yeah. No, not, they didn't interview him. It was just a picture, and it was in the middle of a desert. And they said, and then they said that there's an underground base in Arizona where this picture came from.
You used to believe all kinds of crazy
Do you
shit.
think,
I remember
you think
showed
it was
me
for
that
real?
video of that
Was it for
alien
real or
interview.
debunked?
Wasn't that
fake.
shit crazy? Dude?
Was
That
it for
awesome,
real though, or
bro.
debunked? Was
Well,
it like
the alien interview one was fake.
Okay.
But it was,
He was
really
so excited.
good. It was really good,
I mean,
bro.
yeah, you want it to be real.
Dude,
Yeah.
the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that
is
was because that
You
was
want
like
it to be real,
2006.
No- no
so,
car-
but it was done at a time.
no
Anyway.
car around near where Area 51 should be. I was driving through that area one time. No car, where it's 100 miles in all directions. There's nothing. 100 miles every direction, nothing. And like literally smack dab in the middle of it. I swear to God, it was like somebody who escaped from Area 51 or something, but it was just no car anywhere, no motorcycle, no nothing. This dude just standing there smiling, waving at every car driving by. Like, just waving at them all. And that's all I could think about is like, did I just see that, dude?
In the desert.
Like, did I just
got
see?
out of
Holy
That's the
fuck,
plot
like,
line of that's the
what the
plot line
fuck,
of
dude?
Paul or whatever. That's a,
yeah, there's Paul.
No, he just
What's
looked like
reciting plot line?
I'm not saying that, dude. I'm just saying, like, that's what I saw when I was driving in the desert. It's fucking weird. And I'm just like, because who's going to be happy? I don't know. He's either a fucking serial killer waiting for somebody to pick him up. And he's just like, I'm going to be super happy till someone pick me up. I'm going to fucking kill him. And it's like, because who's going to be happy in the middle of fucking nowhere where there's.
When you're wanting a ride, you want to look friendly and you smile and you wave. I mean,
it's true. And then
what are you going to be like?
And then they'll pull out the knife and be like,
Yeah.
while you're driving.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck! I should never got this dude. Fuck this desert.
Nobody picks up hitchhikers anymore, bro.
Oh, I know.
Do you have any other questions?
Oh, I know.
No, I think that's it, brother.
That calls it.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you sharing your experiences, both with the alien abduction and the grown up Mormon. Next time you're in town, next time you're coming back, you'll be living here for sure. Or?
Yeah. Oh no, for sure, for sure.
Nice.
What's that? September? Or?
I think. I don't know. And sometimes, dude, I think it's just like I got to be back down here. There's more aliens down here, dude.
All right, dude.
More aliens down here. So we're gonna have to try to go on a hunt one of these times, for real.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Find people who've had experiences.
All right. Yeah, definitely. I want to look up. Actually, that reminds me. We should contact. Was you said your grandma and grandpa live in Bogland or whatever?
Waterville,
Maine?
Maine.
Yeah, they were from Waterville.
We should ask them if they know of
They're
these
gone,
UFO.
but yeah.
Oh, they passed
yeah,
away.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, it's all good.
Never mind. That is a
Way
wrap
to
on
end the show,
episode
brother.
120 of the podcast.
Velveeta cheese. Velveeta.
All right, let's do this. Ads, baby. Ads, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
No, wait, let's do that again. Yeah. Ads, baby. Ads, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
No, wait, let's do that again. Yeah.
Ads, baby. Ads,
I don't
baby.
know. I'm fucking just trying to fucking get the fuck out of here, dude. We have now partnered with Mellow by Design to bring you handcrafted, high-quality CBD at a discounted price. No promo code.
Nope.
All you have to do is go to bogcastcbd.com, and all the prices are already reduced. Tinctures, topical sprays, pet drops, salves, and even hand sanitizer.
COVID, bro.
Vegan-friendly, all-natural, gluten-free, and sweetener-free. No THC.
Bummer.
Oh, my God.
They won't watch this.
Bang!